I was in a coma for 6 months. I heard her voice before I felt my body. The nurse, reading aloud, a kindness for the man who wasn't supposed to wake. She shuffled the stack of cards, sentences of pity, prayers scribbled by trembling hands. Then one envelope caught her breath, a pause, a hesitation she couldn't hide. She read it anyway. I hope you never wake up. She's mine now. And so is your daughter. And your $100 million company. My brother's handwriting. His venom. The nurse gasped. She thought I was buried in silence, locked in that twilight between life and death. But my mind had clawed its way back. Every word etched itself into me, like a brand. The betrayal wasn't the shock. No. What chilled me was the precision of his cruelty. He wanted me erased, written out of my own life, my bloodline severed. I couldn't move, not yet, but I could listen, I could remember. And when my eyelids trembled open, just enough for the nurse to stumble back, clutching her chest, she had no idea the first phone call I was about to make would decide who would walk away destroyed. Not me. I lay in silence for days, pretending, letting them all believe I was still half asleep, half dead. The nurse became my confessor. She spoke when she thought I couldn't hear. Soft murmurs of guilt about what she'd read. She even whispered apologies to me, as if her voice could undo the words. But I didn't want apologies. I wanted truth. Images of my brother filled the dark ceiling above me. His smirk at board meetings, his envious eyes when my daughter ran into my arms, the way he lingered too long in conversations with my wife. Pieces aligned, slowly, methodically. It wasn't just ambition, it wasn't just betrayal, it was hunger, personal, carnal, financial. He wanted everything I loved, everything I built. I replayed the letter in my head until the words bled together. She's mine now. My wife. My daughter. No. A fire burned beneath my stillness. My body was a cage, but my mind sharpened into a blade. When they transferred me home for recovery, I pretended weakness longer than necessary. I learned to sit, to stand, to walk, quietly, cautiously. The world thought it was a miracle. I let them think so. But inside, I was already hunting. I noticed the changes first in my wife. She avoided my eyes when I spoke. She turned her phone face down at the dinner table. She lingered late at night on the balcony, whispering into the dark. My daughter, only 6, had begun calling him Uncle Daddy once. She laughed when she said it. My wife went pale. I filed it away. I requested medical reports, mine, hers, my daughter's. I asked a trusted colleague to check company records quietly. I had DNA samples taken, disguised as routine follow-ups. The answers came slowly, like rain leaking through a ceiling, one drop at a time. Phone logs showed late-night calls between them. Company funds funneled into his private accounts. My daughter's school records suddenly listing him as an emergency contact. Every document I touched confirmed it. But I didn't break. I couldn't afford emotion. I was patient, precise. The silence was my weapon. The final evidence arrived in an envelope. DNA results. My daughter's blood compared against mine. Not mine. His. My chest didn't ache. My throat didn't burn. I felt nothing. Just the cold clarity of arithmetic. Betrayal reduced to numbers and percentages. That night, I walked into the dining room with the envelope in hand. They sat together, my wife, her eyes darting, and my brother, smug in the comfort of stolen ground. I placed the envelope between the wine glasses. "Open it," I said. He smirked. "What is this, some legal paper? You should still be resting. Open it." He tore it, glanced, and froze. His lips parted, but no words came. When her eyes found the numbers, the truth, her face cracked like porcelain dropped on marble. I said nothing. I didn't need to. Silence was louder than any scream. I leaned back, studying them like specimens pinned under glass. "You thought I'd never wake," I whispered. "That coma was your freedom. But now, this is mine." I slid a second envelope across the table. Company transfer papers, signed by the board this morning. Not in his favor, in mine. I had prepared quietly, pulling strings while pretending to stumble through therapy. "I already told them," I said. "Every stolen dollar, every falsified record. Your career is over." His face collapsed, the arrogance drained, leaving only panic. "And you," I turned to her, "chose him. You chose him over me, over truth." Her mouth opened to plead, but I raised my hand. Calm, cold. "I'm not here for apologies. I'm here to end it." I stood steady. "You wanted me gone. Instead, I'll be the one walking away. You can have each other. You'll need each other when the world closes in." I left the envelope of DNA results on the table. Proof, evidence, a weapon they couldn't destroy. Their silence followed me down the hall. The night air outside felt sharper, cleaner. I breathed it in like a man who had been drowning too long. I didn't look back. My daughter wasn't mine by blood, but she was mine by memory. The bedtime stories, the scraped knees I bandaged, the laughter echoing in the halls. Nothing could erase that, and nothing they did could steal it from me. I would not fight for her possession. I would fight for her truth when she was old enough to see it. As for them, they were already prisoners of their choices. Their love was not passion. It was rot. I walked into the dark with no pity, no grief, only clarity. The coma hadn't been my end. It was theirs. And when the phone rang in my hand, the first call I was about to make, my voice was steady, my words exact. "I'm awake."